Far away in the frozen forests of North America, there is a legend that has terrified people for centuries. It is the story of a creature so horrifying that its name is still spoken in fear. The wendigo. The wendigo is not just a monster. It is a spirit, a curse, and a lesson about human greed and survival. It comes from the folklore of the Algonquian-speaking tribes, like the Cree, the Ojibwe, and the Algonquin. For these communities, the wendigo was not just a bedtime story, but a real warning about the dangers that can destroy both body and soul. The wendigo is described in many ways, but all versions agree on one thing. It is terrifying. Some say it is a giant many times taller than a human with skin pulled tight over its bones, as if it is forever starving. Others describe glowing eyes, sharp claws, and a mouth filled with jagged teeth. In some legends, it has twisted antlers, or the head of a beast, making it look like a demon of the wild. The wendigo is said to smell of decay and death, and its very presence brings a feeling of dread and cold. But what makes the wendigo even more frightening is not just how it looks, but how it is born. The legend says that when a person in the depths of winter has no food and commits the ultimate act of eating human flesh, they are cursed. They lose their humanity and become a wendigo. From that moment, they are doomed to walk the earth with an endless hunger. No matter how much they eat, they are never satisfied. The more they consume, the emptier they become. For Native people, this story was more than horror. It was a lesson. The winters were long, and food could be scarce. The wendigo tale was told to keep people strong, to warn them that giving in to desperation and greed would destroy them. It was a spiritual guardrail, reminding them to stay human, even in the harshest conditions. The wendigo is also a symbol of greed. In many stories, the wendigo is not only about cannibalism, but also about selfishness. Imagine a person who takes more than they need. More food, more land, more power. The wendigo represents that endless desire that no amount of wealth or control can satisfy. It is a monster born from the human mind, heart as much as from the forest. There are many chilling tales about the wendigo hunters would speak of being followed in the snow. They would hear their names whispered by voices that came from nowhere. Some described glowing eyes in the dark and footsteps crunching just behind them. Even if they turned around, no one was there. The wendigo was believed to stalk its prey slowly, patiently wearing them down with fear before striking. One of the most disturbing parts of this legend is what some call wendigo psychosis. In the 1800s and early 1900s, there were reports from the north of Canada where people began to believe they were turning into wendigos. They felt uncontrollable cravings for flesh. They were haunted by visions. They feared they would harm their families. Some begged to be killed before they lost control. In certain communities, the fear of wendigo possession was so powerful that suspected individuals were executed to protect the village. One of the most famous cases was that of Swift Runner, a Cree man in the late 1800s. During a brutal winter, he and his family were trapped, without food. When rescue finally came, his family was gone, and investigators found evidence of cannibalism. Swift Runner admitted to the act and claimed he had been consumed by a wendigo. He was executed, but his story has never been forgotten. These stories spread the terror of the wendigo far beyond the tribes of the north. For settlers and travelers who entered the forests, the wendigo became a symbol of the unknown dangers waiting in the frozen wilderness. Alone in the snow, one could almost believe the creature was watching from between the trees. Even today, the wendigo has not been forgotten. It appears in movies, books, and video games as one of the most terrifying monsters of folklore. But while modern culture often turns it into a scary beast, the original story is far more meaningful. It is about morality, survival, and the line between humanity and savagery. Now imagine this. You are lost in the forest. The snow falls heavily. The silence is broken only by the sound of footsteps. But they are not yours. The cold grows sharper. A shadow moves among the trees. You see a tall figure, its skin stretched across bones. Its eyes glow with hunger. And in that moment you realize you are face to face with the wendigo. The question remains, is the wendigo real? Some believe it is only a myth created to scare people during hard winters. Others say it is a spirit that still exists, a curse that lingers in the wild. There are those who claim to have seen it, hunters, campers, travelers who swear they felt something watching them from the woods. Whether or not the wendigo is real, its story will never die, because it speaks to something deeper inside us all. It is a warning about the hunger that lives within the human heart, the greed that can never be filled. The wendigo is not only in the forest, it is within every person who wants more than they need. So what do you think? Is the wendigo just a chilling story from the past? Or does it still walk in the frozen forests, waiting for the next soul to cross?